Kia ora koutou, Marky here with another video on song lyrics, another video on All About Eve song lyrics. I'm on a roll with this because I'm just really into it at the moment, but we'll get into that in a second. A couple of things that I just want to quickly say before we start, and I'm going to be saying this at the beginning of all the videos at the moment, so you can always fast forward a little bit if you've heard this before. So first off, this is a channel about retroactive jealousy, and that is our core purpose, is helping people with this condition. But there's various reasons why we can't just kind of keep producing videos on retroactive jealousy, and the main one is I don't want to scrape the barrel. I know some channels do this. They put themselves under pressure to keep producing content on a particular topic, which can be a tall order and can result in inferior content, really. So I produce videos on retroactive jealousy when I've got something new to say about retroactive jealousy, and in the meantime I produce videos on other things because that's how your channels work best, and also that's how I work best. And that leads on nicely to the second thing I like to say at the start of every video now, is that this is a neurodivergent channel. I am neurodivergent, and if you want to check out what that means, I've got videos on that, and that's kind of the way I work, because my brain bounces about from one thing to another with a lot of excitement and passion. So I produce videos that are very much what I want to be talking about in the moment, which I think is, one of the good things about this channel, is that I'm not just making videos because I suppose I better make a video. I'm very much into it at the time, full of excitement and bounce and full of beans and all that kind of thing. And so and also this channel, so this is the warning, I guess, this channel is full of tangents and diversions, and I think that's what makes it unique and interesting. There's plenty of videos where there is slick production, things are much more to point, but this is not one of those channels. So if you like that, then if you like slickness and excellent production and everything to be flowing in a very logical order, then this is probably not the channel for you. But if you like to bounce around and we want to bounce around with me, this is the place for you. So on to the topic. So and this is kind of interesting, because what I've realized that I do a lot with these song analysis lyrics is I make connections that most people probably wouldn't make, and connections that most people would think, hey, how could you connect this with that? And it's not because I'm saying that the people that wrote the song lyrics are making those connections, but I'm making the connection. And there is a connection there, whether it was intended or not, and often it's not intended. So this is a video about the song The Things He Told Her, from All About Eve's kind of last studio album, Ultraviolet, which was the one that took me the longest to get into. I'm very, very slow at processing music and making sense of music. I'm not somebody that kind of just listens to new stuff all the time. I do listen to new stuff a lot, but very slowly. I chug my way through it, because it takes me a while to really get into it. And this, I suppose, is the album that I've listened to least of all the All About Eve albums, and that's not unusual. Lots of kind of die-hard fans struggled with this album because stylistically it was very different, and much more kind of shoegazy, almost a little bit trip hop, and the vocals were, because Julianne Regan from All About Eve is such an amazing vocalist. The vocals were actually lower down in the mix in this album, which I think a lot of people didn't like, which I think is a great sign of her as a person, because if you're a fantastic vocalist and you allow the vocals to be brought down a little bit in the mix, that's a real sign of not being a massive narcissist and egotist. And that leads on really to my analysis of this song. So first of all, credit to songlyrics.com for the lyrics, and I'm pointing the camera at the lyrics for this song from them. Now there are adverts on the page. I'm not getting anything from these adverts, so I suppose that maybe there's a little thank you to songlyrics.com for for resharing them, but I'm not intending to show you adverts. That's just a kind of consequence of using this site. And I will reproduce these lyrics in the comments box under the description box under the video, sorry, so you can have a look at them yourself. But I'm going to look at them on the screen as we go through them, and it's a very unsophisticated, low-tech approach to sharing these things with you. So yeah, it's interesting. I think a lot of All About Eve songs, certainly they relate to things that aren't going quite so great in relationships. That's not unique to All About Eve. There's so many songs about things not going so great in relationships, right across the board. And probably, you know, that's well established now and will probably never change. But a lot of references to things like codependency and narcissism. And I've picked up on this before in other videos. So this is going to follow a very similar theme to the previous All About Eve videos that I've analysed and commented on. And this, I think, relates to a very specific aspect of narcissism, and that's something called future faking. Okay, so this is going to be the thrust of this video. Is I'm looking at analysing the lyrics for what they are, but I'm also drawing a link between the meaning of these lyrics and future faking, which is a narcissistic trait. So it's not unique to narcissists, but it's very common among narcissists. When I say narcissists, what I mean is people who would qualify for a diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder. Not talking about people that just, you know, take a lot of selfies. Not people with narcissistic personality disorder may take a lot of selfies, but that's not a defining characteristic of having a narcissistic personality disorder. Narcissistic personality disorder is actually very similar to the profile of a psychopath, and the two things overlap quite a bit, but I've done other videos on that, so I shall say no more. Let's get stuck into these lyrics. Always amazing lyrics from All About Eve. Excuse me. So he came with his mystic tricks. And that's, I think, is a reference to the manipulation of a narcissist. It's often, you know, they call it Machiavellianism. So it's things like gaslighting, a whole range of other things, and of course future faking, which is the thrust, I think, of what this song is talking about. Exchanged for a crucifix. Okay. So interesting, exchange for a crucifix. So you could interpret that on lots of different levels, but, you know, it makes me kind of immediately think of the vampire genre, where a crucifix will repel a vampire, will protect you from a vampire, will protect you from evil. And I've talked about in other videos how narcissism can be compared to vampirism, or perhaps the other way around. That the tropes of vampirism, if you look at them symbolically, relate really closely to the behaviours of a narcissist in the way that they feed off other people, for example, and the way that they can't see themselves in a mirror. And I've done other videos on that, so check those out. So he's got his mystic tricks. So what he's done is exchanging them for a crucifix. So it's like disarming the victim, which is presumably the partner in the relationship. So it's taking away your protection, your crucifix, and so that you're vulnerable to the mystic tricks, the manipulation. These things, he said, would come true. She don't know if she'd like them to. Okay. So future faking is where a narcissist, as part of usually a way of trying to gain control over somebody, will kind of make lots of promises, really, and say, oh, you know, we're an amazing couple, we're a power couple, we'll go on to do amazing things, we'll do this, we'll do that, you know, I'll take you to my, you know, I'm going to make lots of money, and we're going to, you know, you'll be able to go and stay in my apartment in Lanzarote, or whatever it might be. Future faking. So it might be kind of feeding them with romantic visions and aspirations, and it's all kind of false. The narcissist doesn't necessarily know that it's false, because narcissism comes with a degree of self-delusion. Or they might know, depending on what kind of narcissist they are. Now, I'm drawing a lot here, and this is a comparison I want to make with the work of a gentleman called H.G. Tudor, who has a YouTube channel on narcissism and is a diagnosed narcissist himself, and he gives away all the tricks. Oh no, look, the screen's gone. and you can see a weird reflection of me. That's not good because I'm actually in a dressing gown at the moment, so you bear with me. This is the kind of poor production that I promised you. So right, now we've got a nice screensaver, and we've got it back. Okay, so I warned you, no slick production on this channel. Right, okay, now it's 10 years on, with several layers of youth and beauty gone. And now she's 10 years older, hanging on to the things he told her. So the spacing of the lyrics here isn't quite right. So when I put the lyrics, I reproduce the lyrics in the description box, I'll correct that so they'll follow on properly. Hanging on to the things. So basically those lies about the future, they haven't come true, and it's 10 years. She's still hanging on to them. Not because she's stupid, not because she's an idiot, but because he's very good. I say he, and you know, it could be the other way around. I suppose I'm saying he because the female vocal tends to make you think that it's about a male partner, but it doesn't. You know, it could be a female and female relationship, a male and male relationship, any kind of relationship. But we'll kind of probably keep the pronouns and the genders simple, just for the purpose of simplicity and smooth flow. Although we don't get really, I don't really do smooth flow anyway, but we try. So if she's good, will it, hanging on to the things he told her, if she's good, will it still occur? So, you know, if she's good, that's like, you know, that's how you talk to a child, isn't it? You encourage a child to be good. You shouldn't really be encouraging your partner to be good. That's an element of control and power imbalance that you're trying to, you know, that your partner might feel like they're rewarded for good behaviour, and good behaviour really means compliance. Those things that he said would be, she can't wait for eternity. No, she certainly can't. And let's chorus again. And then pretty much coming to the end of the song. So hanging on to things he told her. Don't blame the illusionist for those mouths that you should have kissed. Okay, so this is, you know, so this is about future faking and also kind of time stealing, really. That the narcissist takes you prisoner, keeps you hostage, keeps you in a relationship which is horrible, where they manipulate you to stay, and you know, all that time goes, you know, your looks change, you know, all the opportunities that you could have had in those 10 years or however long it is have been, you know, wasted. They've been stolen from you. So all those mouths that you could have kissed, all the relationships that you could have had, were you not with this, you know, horrible narcissist. I disagree with the don't blame the illusionist. I would say actually, yes, blame the illusionist. So this is kind of saying, really, well, you know, you fell for it, you're the fool, but actually never feel that. If you've been taken for a ride by a narcissist, they're very good. You know, they're the way of manipulation, and it's not just future faking, it's a whole bunch of techniques, but a bunch of techniques such as isolating you, undermining your self-belief, sometimes making you think you're crazy, and they're a mixture of benign and malign techniques. So some of the techniques are, you know, abusive and horrible. Some of them are really generous and kind and nice, but they all come from the same place, as desire to control. And this follows very much from, so check out the channel HG Tudor, because he talks about all these different things in detail and breaks them all down. But check out some of his work on future faking. So this is about future faking and time stealing. Have you been in a relationship where you felt like your life, your like, you know, like chunks of your life, if you like, have been taken away from you, and opportunities have been taken away from you? Have you experienced that? And have you experienced somebody, you know, selling you a bill of goods, as I would say, about what the future might bring, a false future, you know, just a mirage? So there we go. That's the song. Check out my other videos on all about Eve, and a few follow the same thing. So I've come late, like I said, I've come late to this album. So I'm working through, trying to kind of listen to more, because I've not really sat and studied the lyrics before. So don't be surprised if there's more lyric analysis from this album. And if you're aware of the album, maybe you've listened to it before and not given it a chance, please do give it a chance, because I think lyrically and musically this is I think it's a great album. I'm enjoying it more than all the others at the moment. Just another kind of comment, kind of musically, is this song ends with a musical piece that's quite, I think it's quite kind of Beatles-esque, when they were, when they were particularly into the kind of, Indian music. And there's very kind of psychedelic, spiritual Indian music. And it ends with that, which kind of, to me, fits with the hypnotic, seductive quality, kind of, which fits with like the mystic tricks. So it's kind of like, if you listen to that music, it makes you, it takes you to another place and makes you feel that you could enter a different world, or transcend to a better world, which is part of the narcissistic process. So thank you very much for watching. Please support us, because we do have a serious mission to help people, and you can help us by liking, giving us a nice comment, sharing the video, all those things, subscribing of course, and you can subscribe to us on Patreon as well, and give us a donation. That helps us even more, helps us massively. So thank you very much for all of that. Keep listening to All About Eve, because they're fantastic, and see you in the next one. Rangi Mario.